So this is unofficially off-air conversations. It's not really off-air because my homegirl Marquita isn't here, but this is just a brief little stint before I go back to studying that I wanted to share. Hopefully, it blesses somebody. So, um, she was saying how hard it is to sever this particular relationship, and her and the guy had been in a relationship for some time now, but she always seems to go back, and it's just it's convenient and it's comfortable and it's what she knows. um, it's nice to have somebody around to cuddle with. It's nice to have somebody to talk to when you've had a long day and all of that. And I completely understand. I completely understand. But when God has something greater for you, we have to allow the old to move out the way so that the new can come in. And even if he's not ushering in new right now, we have to allow the old to get out the way because it's only taking up time and space that is precious to us. Um, and I was sharing with her, we have to allow ourselves time to properly heal and recoup from that severing process because it is hard. And soul ties are real. um, but we have to allow ourselves the time to recoup. So what I explained to her was when I was in high school, I tore my ACLs, both of them, 1 year apart. And I was devastated when I tore the second one. And the doctor explained to me that the way our bodies are set up, is that we are more likely to tear a second ACL if we had the first one. Our first one, once we tear it, it becomes stronger through the rehab process and because of how they repair it. So you have one strong and you have one weak. So typically we go ahead and tear the second one, but after the second one is torn, it's less likely that you'll have another tear of that sort. Now, how he explained it was he took the hamstring out of my thigh and he replaced my ACL with my hamstring. And in doing so, it made it stronger, it made it more durable. The hamstring is one of the strongest muscles in our bodies. It may bruise, but it doesn't rip easily. So when he took the hamstring and he stretched it and replaced the ACL with the hamstring, now what was already inside of me just kind of merged into another. It was utilized for a different purpose now. And God does that with us. He takes what's already inside of us and he stretches us and uses it to heal certain areas in our lives. So first and foremost, what we need for healing is already inside of us, but we have to allow the surgeon to go into us, make those repairs, and then stitch us back up. After we've been stitched back up, we have to do our part and not jumping back onto the court before it's time. It took me 6 months to recover from each surgery. The second surgery, it was a little faster because I already knew the process. I knew what I needed to do. So I went a little harder in my rehab process. But you cannot just come out of surgery and get back right on the court. I was on bed rest for a week. After I got off of bed rest, then I was able to get up and walk around. After about the second week, I was able to start going back to rehab, taking the bandages off, taking the stitches off, making sure that everything was in place and in line. Started to fold my knee again, started to, stretch it out, started to build that strength back up. Now, he explained to me that prior to my surgery, he had just done a third surgery on a young lady. And I asked, well, how in the world did she tear it 3 times if you said the second time was usually the last? And he said she did not allow herself time to recover fully and properly. And she got back on the court before her rehab time was up, and subsequently ended up tearing her ACL all over again because it wasn't strong enough. And that's what we tend to do in relationships. We sever the relationship, we allow God to heal us back up, and we're like, okay, I'm good, I'm done, I'm cutting you off, this, that, and the third, like I'm over you. And then when that phone call comes, when old dude comes knocking on the door, or female, when they come knocking on the door saying, I just wanted to hang out, like I just wanted to spend the night, or whatever. We ain't gonna no funny business, but you open up that door and you allow yourself to go back down that road before you're properly healed. And when you're properly healed, then you'll be able to know how to distinguish, I might not need to do this, or I need to keep arm's length, or, however you choose to interact with that person. For me, I have to cut you off completely so that I can know that I can heal properly. And then eventually we can start to maybe work towards a friendship, cordiality, and things like that. But we can't jump back on the court before we're properly healed, because when we do, we end up causing more damage than good. If we were to understand that our healing process takes time, but we already are mended, we're already mended after God has already dealt with us. Once He stitches us back up, the mending process is over. The healing process is then what has to take place. And there's nothing more for Him to do because He's already mended us up. We now have to take responsibility for the healing that happens in us. And that means, setting boundaries. And that means denying our flesh. And that means, getting into the Word and spending more time trying to get to know who we are and what we need. So, I wanted to share that. I hope that blesses somebody. It blessed me when he shared it with me, and it blessed my friend when I shared it with her. And she urged me to get back on to social media and share it with you guys. So yeah, make sure you take all the necessary measures to properly heal before you get back out on the court. Love you.